Hello again, this is Vicki. This is my second video. I wanted to talk about how I've learned so much about taking care of goldfish and some of the mistakes I made. This is my aquarium, 75 gallons. I have it on my back porch. But actually what I started with was this, my pond. I started this about, I thought it was about 5 months ago, but when I calculated it was 7 months ago. And I didn't know anything. This is the first time I ever had fish in my life, but I saw this cool video online about making a bog that could take care of, keeping the fish water recycled. Taking the nitrates out and feeding the plants. And I thought that was a really good idea, so I made it. But I didn't know that the water had to cycle first, so I went and bought me a bunch of starter fish because they were cheap, and I thought, well, they'll grow in time. And I threw them in here. Didn't have any idea that the water needed the bacteria in it to help with the ammonia and the nitrates and the nitrites. And so yeah, I had problems right away. I mean, the fish started getting sick, they got the ick, they died suddenly with no cause, and I was going crazy. I was about to give up. I knew all 30 fish by name, and I loved them all, and it was horrible. But I got to reading, and I found out about everything. Then I slowly stocked it again, and checked the water out, and now it's been on kind of like cruise control for about 5 months, and all these fish are flourishing and they're doing great. So on the bottom I have pea gravel for substrate. I have my plants in little separate pots so that if I ever need to put salt in here or medicine of any kind or anything, I can pull them out. I had some lilies in here coming up earlier. There's my what do you call that? Bamboo. That's going to be a flower coming up. Anyway, so what happens is there's a pump right over here. You probably can't see it. And it pumps up through the bottom of this. And then it goes through a manifold on the bottom of it. And the water goes up to the top. And these plants take the nitrates out. And then over here, let's see if I can get it. This plant's kind of in the way. Over here there's where it goes right back down the water and creates some aeration. And if ever I want to hear some water sound, I turn on this spigot here. And I can, adjust it to whatever I want while I'm sitting out here. Anyway, so this got to working pretty good, and I was really happy with it and finding a lot of joy out of it. That I decided, I love it, but I can't really see. I could just see from the fish from top down, and I wanted to see them actually, more than that. So that's when I decided to get the aquarium. Okay, so I put this out here, and then that was another learning experience because I got an algae bloom because there's too much sunlight coming in through here. So I devised this little, this is my hospital tank, what we're looking at down below. But what I did is I devised these little covers, that for the hospital tank, and this right here, I made out of balsam wood. I put material over it, and then what I do, hard to do with one hand, but hold on a second. So I just put it up kind of like this, and I have little hooks here that I put it under, but I can't do it right now with one hand. But anyway, so it's like that. So these colors kind of match my porch out here, and it blocks the sun from coming in. And then when I go back in the house, I can still enjoy the fish from the inside, but it just blocks the sun from out there. Now, I was talking about things I've learned. When I had ick, I've had it 3 times. Twice in the pond and one that's up here. The 2 times in the pond I used medicine and had no success. It was very painful. Just the fish got sick and they ended up dying, and only 2 of the original 30 survived. But anyway, I had the same thing happen up here. And this time, what I did is I had all my plants, and this one are on rocks. So this time I tried the heat method. I took all the plants out, added salt, 3 teaspoons per gallon, turned the heat up, took the sickest of fish out and put them in a tub with aeration and clean water, and turned the heat up in that one, and did that for a couple days. So when the ick fell off, I was constantly changing the water. There was no gravel or anything, and then after a couple days of doing that, I put them back in with the general population, and I had really good success. Really good success. Of all these fish in here, I only had 1 death, and it was because the ick was gone from his body, but he got red streaks on his tail, and I didn't act fast enough to put antibiotics on in his food or in his water, separate him again. I thought he was going to make it because he was swimming and eating, but it eventually got to him, and he did die. But that's the first time I cured ick, and I'm so happy. And it was really easy. I mean, after the terror I went through the first 2 times, and the heartbreak, and trying everything every day out here, testing the water, putting medicine in, watching the fish, making sure each one ate, and losing them after all that, compared to the heat and salt. And I live in North Florida, so they say that there's a chance that they're heat and salt resistant here, but fortunately I didn't have that issue. Anyway, so after trying that, I turned this heater up right here, and they did great. You can see they're all happy now. See this one right here? That's Conway Twitty. He reminds me of Conway Twitty, that big old Aranda head on him. Anyway, so if you have ick, maybe you'll have success like I did if you try it with the salt and heat. I hope so, because it's horrible. Okay. Hope you enjoyed it.